Hey everybody, it's Diggler. We're going to do a tutorial. This will be my first tutorial, and this one is brought to you by Admonish the Metal. Go check out his channel. Subscribe to it if you're not. Watch his videos. Tell him Diggler sent you. He's got great videos. Amazing. Old ones on the beach, new ones. Finding amazing stuff in the middle of nowhere. It still blows me away. I love watching him hunt. Anyways, I digress. Okay, back to the tutorial. We're going to do a tutorial on Filmora 9, just a basic. Boom. Alright, first you're going to load up your videos. When I download my clips off my camera, I put it on a new folder on my desktop. So when I load up a video, I go to my desktop, I find the folder, open it up, I highlight one of them, and then press Control A for all of them, and then open. And so my whole metal detecting hunt goes into Filmora project. We're not going to use a lot of those though. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the first one, and you can either press so you can press the plus button. I always do match to media, and I start with my high def 1080 60 frames per second, and then it sets. When you click match to media, it sets your project settings to that video settings. So that's what I want, so I match it to my media. Where if it was my phone on the selfie side and it's like 24 frames per second, 720, I don't want it that way, because then it's gonna look horrible. So match to media. Play around with it, you'll figure it out too. Okay, and then on these, first thing I'm gonna do on these is I'm just gonna lower the volume. You can detach the volume, we'll get to that, but we'll lower the volume. So when you press the plus, it adds it in from where you're at, so, and then moves the marker to the end. So then you can just go to the next one. I don't think that was one I wanted to use. I think it was this one. Okay, so we'll put that one in, hit the plus, automatically throws it in. If you don't want to do that, I like to drag and drop and use the hotkey. I think it's from being a gamer. So then the next one we'll just drag down here and throw in here, and wait for it. Sound pops up. It's good. Okay, so this button here, I just found out, spreads it to the screen of what you can see. So also too, this plus and minus lowers the numbers down. You can also click and hold this and drag it. What that does is it brings your frame rate up. So like when I do my tricks, I need it to be exact. So I'll balloon this up and get it exactly to that spot, and then cut it or do what I need to do. Alright, so back to this. Double click, hit play, goes through our clips. That one comes in, shows, that's alright. Maybe we could do something there. And turns out and then turns in. So we want to make that smooth, and what I did there is I recorded a transition instead of making pulling one from the program. And what you do is at the end of your clip while you're recording, I just turn to the left really fast. So while I do that, I want to go to the next clip and go to where I start the blur. Now this is where you zoom in, and you can go to the exact spot you want, right where it starts. Sometimes you wait. There, it's clear. So I highlight this, I'll drag this over, or you can cut it. It's a lot of times easier just to pull that end up, and you can see when you get the double lines and the arrows that you can control it. And if you highlight this one and do it, it's going to do that one. So you want to make sure it's highlighted. So that we just trim that off. We'll go back here and watch it. Look at that. So if you go up to transitions, there's 178 of them. I picked 31 that I like. My favorite is this dissolve, and you drag it down onto your seam and it covers the seam, and then you can close it down. Also too, we'll go this back down here so you can see it there. Okay, so then when we go back and play, it'll dissolve the two into each other. Yeah, pretty cool. And we also have these arrow ones. You drop. You don't have to delete it, just drag a new one on top of it. Go back and watch. Now this is a side blur one, so it should go right along with it. Well, see, now it's lagging. So what you want to do is hit that, start at the beginning, and then render. That's your render preview, and that'll make it so it's smooth so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes this can be a pain when you're doing some longer videos, like we did with the metal detecting. Alright, there it is. So then we just hit play. Come in, look at the food. So we're in the same section there. What we can do is drag down that dissolve into there, the scene, and go back, watch it. Let me drag this up. What I did is I waited for the burger to be at the bottom of the screen there on both. So when it goes through and does a dissolve, they're close to where they're supposed to be, so that fading almost isn't noticeable. Just like that. Okay, so I don't want to show the greasy pan, so what we're going to do is go back until it's out. We're on the lettuce, and then I'm going to cut it. Okay. Now, what else we can do is the audio. I'm sure you're going to want to put music to it. And we can just find any YouTube song that they give us. Double click them and it'll play it. Oh, that's depressing. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to drag this down to the track underneath. You can see the musical note. Okay, make sure you can see that. So then what else you can do is we're going to zoom in on your beginning. I like to put a transition fade at the beginning, and I'll cut the music up to where it's closer to where it starts. There, so when you start the clip, it fades in with the music. paused it right there so we could cut the audio. Okay, I know with the sound, there's this little button here. You get the arrows up, you can pull it in, and what that does is it fades it out. And you can put another fade at the end from your transitions, so it fades out. That easy. Okay, what else? Titles. I know you all want to have your name on there, so we will go to the titles. I have some custom ones I made. They have openers on here, which you can use. Titles. My favorite is 39, the dissolve. So we'll just throw this on top, and it's a text, so it comes up as a video. And then what I like to do is go in the center of it, so whatever it's doing, it's at its peak. And you can highlight it, double click it, it opens up your settings for text and video, your presets and the animation. You have the advanced. You can go in here. This is how I made my subscribe button. You can go in here and do amazing stuff. We're not going to get into that right now. So basically, once you double click, comes up with your editing tool. You highlight this text over here and put in Diggler. Alright, and you can hit OK, or you can change your font. They have a million of them, just like anything else. You know, it really just depends on what you want. Right there. Alright, so then we can stretch it up here. Stretch up here. We drag it down to the bottom. What we're going to want to do is change the color. You click on this, click on more. I like green, so go. That's a good color, green. Boom, it's green. And if you scroll down here, text space, line space, alignment, transform, rotate, scale, position, composition, blending mode, opacity. Bring the opacity down so you can see through it. That's what opacity means. Normal, darken, multiply. Go back to normal. Okay. So then, yeah, you click OK, go out of it, hit your stop button a couple times, and hit play. There's lower thirds, pretty cool. You can just grab any of these really too. Bring it over here, highlight it, double click. It leaves this at where you left it. So highlight, put in tutorial basics. Change this to green. I like green. Yeah, a little bolder here. A little bigger. Put it back over here. Alright, click OK. Go back over here. Display. As I made Alright, so once you do that, you have your video down here, your audio. You can control the volume with this line. What else? I think that's pretty much it for now. You got your fade in, out, your clips, your cutting, your titles. Well, yeah, basic video right there. So then what I usually do is click export, but I always do MP4s and export, and that's it. So once this is done, I'll add it to the end of the video. I just want to thank everybody for listening to my rambling and all the support you guys all give me and everything. It's just amazing. So yeah, so a little treat. How's that, huh?